Here we are again, once again with Sports Blab. So there's a lot to talk about in the sports world, even though no sports are being played. So I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a smorgasbord today. So let's talk about tennis first, then we'll go to baseball, then perhaps chess. So let's talk about tennis. In the world of tennis, like every sport, they've had to stop everything. So one of the discussions has been about a vaccine. If the ATP requires the players, on the men's side and the WTA and the women's side to take a vaccine in order to play as part of the rules, if and when a vaccine is developed against the COVID-19, should the players have to take it? Well, the general answer is yes, if they want to play. But Novak Djokovic came out and said, if there's a vaccine, I'm not taking it for whatever reason he decided. Well, the players have spoken out. Rafael Nadal has said, well, if he wants to play, that's the rules, like any other rule for the ATP. You're going to have to take it if you want to play. Because if you don't take it, you're putting everyone, if you should get the virus, you're putting everyone around you and in that stadium and that you come in contact with at risk. And likewise, if someone else has it, you're taking a risk yourself in getting it. So it's a safety measure. If it's part of the rules, I'll take it, but you're going to have to take it too. Well, the good news, that's the bad news. So there's some potential conflict there. What's going to happen between your number one star player and the ruling body organization? Well, Djokovic has come out later and backtracked a little bit and said, yeah, if they develop a vaccine, I'll probably take it. Didn't say for sure. My guess is he's thought about it, talked to people, and he knows he'd be taking a risk and putting others at risk if he didn't take the vaccine. So hopefully that'll get resolved, and it'd just be great to see tennis again. So let's go to baseball real quick. Back in March, MLB and the Players Association looked at all the possible scenarios about the upcoming baseball season. Do we play at all? Do we play with limited fans? Do we play with no fans? Do we play with empty stadiums? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What about the revenue, TV revenue, in stadium revenue, advertising revenue, the whole thing? So a couple of facets in that. One, as a result, one of the side shows, if you will, in baseball is between baseball and the minor leaguers. The minor leaguers have for years wanted more money. The contract is up in 2020. The owners are saying, in MLB, hey man, this is COVID. This is killing everybody. It's turned into an outright dispute. So part of that dispute has resulted both with the player agreement with the players union and with minor league is they're going to cut the amateur draft down to 5 rounds. My guess is that's a money thing, so they don't have to pay so many players this year. By 5 rounds, I do mean this year. But the MLB, in their spat with the minor leagues, are saying, well, we're thinking of dumping, in the first time in so many years, our affiliation with all of you. We already give you guys millions of dollars, and to keep wanting more and more and more, and then you want us to put out during this coronavirus thing where everybody's taking a beating. Forget you. We're done. So they're threatening that, but I don't know if it's coming to that. That just throws a wrench into an already bad situation. But regarding the MLB's deal with the Players Association, my understanding is the owners will give the players 170 million. There's the keep whether they have a season or not. No season, they keep it. If they do have a season and it's reduced revenue, whatever, that would be considered an advance against their salaries, and their salaries would be prorated based on how much of the season they play. So normally they play 162 games, they only play 120, well, the salaries would be reduced, and that 170 million would be applied to that reduced salary. So everything just seems honky dory. But now there's a new wrench. It sounds like Major League Baseball is going to go back to the players and say, we want even more economic concessions from you guys because this COVID thing is going to take a financial bite out of us and you should share more of the pain. The players are upset, as you can understand. They said, hey, we already talked about this. We had an agreement. Now you want to violate an agreement. Guess what? We're taking all the risk here in terms of our health. We're the ones out in the field. The catcher, the umpire, the batter are close to each other, not 10 feet apart. A runner on first base is about 1 foot apart, not 10 feet apart. If there's fans in the stadium, we have to travel. We have to eat and fly on airlines to all these different cities, stay in hotels. We're out in public, blah, blah, transportation, blah, 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 blah. So we're at increased health risk. And by the way, when you guys make a boatload of extra bonus off of us, when you sell the team, when it's a really good year, when there's a jump in revenue, we don't get nothing, right? Now you're coming back when you have to take more of a risk financially, potentially, even though we have an agreement where we discussed all that, you want us to give you more. So you want all the gravy when it's good, and you won't give us more. But when things are down, you're not willing to, you want to take more out of us. So it's a one-way lopsided deal. So that looks like a potential whammy whammy. So the Major League Baseball is going to butt heads with the Players Union. It looks like they're butting heads with the minor league affiliations and all those teams. Wow. Lawyers are going to have a field day. The people are going to make it's like a divorce. The people that make the most money in these conflicts are the lawyers. Good time to be a sports lawyer. So, on to chess. The Nations Cup just concluded today. Team China just won it. They won it. It was drawn. It was one win each. They played 4 games, 3 men and 1 women board. It was 1 win each for China, 1 win each for the U.S. So Yu Yangtze beat Wesley So in a masterpiece, and Fabiano Caruana beat Wang Wei in his classic positional calculated style. All the other games, Hikaru Nakamura against Ding Liren, tie. The women's match, tie. The curious part in the Nakamura match is he actually had an advantage. I'll show you a little graphic of the end position when they called a draw. But he had an advantage, and all the search engines say he had an advantage. But I think this is part of a team strategy, not a Nakamura strategy. They can see the other games while they're playing. And I believe the team strategy was everybody takes a draw except for a heavyweight, Caruana, because he's the number 2 guy in the world. He wins, everybody else draws, we win this thing. But it didn't work out because unfortunately So lost. Now, the day before, in the final round, Wesley So beat Yu Yangtze in a thrilling match, a masterpiece by So. So don't think Yangtze didn't want revenge today. That's just the way chess players operate. You beat me today, I'm going to get you tomorrow. And that's what he did. So no draw, buddy. I'm coming for blood. And he drew his ounce of blood. So now it was just thrilling watching the Nations Cup. It was absolutely great. There's nothing else going on. It's online. Chess is made for online. Few improvements I would suggest. And of course, there's controversy. I'll get to that in a minute. But a couple improvements. The way they did the super final, just 1 round. If it's a draw, then they go to a tiebreak system based on the round robin. Well, the Chinese did better in the round robin, and they own the tiebreak from that. So they win it. So improvements for the future. One, I think they should play 2 rounds. So all the teams have, they had certain color breakdown today for round one, for the 1 round. Make that round 1, and then do another round where they flip the colors, and they can flip players too. I would suggest they don't have to have 2 rounds against the same player, but just color flip. So if out of 4 boards, if boards 1 and 3 are white and 2 and 4 are black, you flip them for round 2 and make board 1 black and board 3 black and 2 and 4 white. Flip them. And then if it's a draw, you forget about the round robin. Round robin just gets you to the super final, the playoff. That's my way of thinking. And then if it's a draw after 2 rounds, do like any other tournament, have a series of tie breaks. So I would go to a blitz tie break. And if it's tie, then Armageddon, baby. I just think the world of chess is moving in a direction for less draws and more outright wins. Otherwise, if you give players incentive to draws, like you saw a little bit today, you'll see them take those draws. And as a fan, chess fan, we want action, baby. We want win, lose, not all these draws. Oh, I think Forrest Gump is starting here. I got to watch. And then there's a controversy in the Nations Cup, of course. Of course. It involves the world champion from Norway, Magnus Carlsen. He could not reach an agreement with FIDE. So let's be clear. This was a FIDE event, the ruling organizing body of chess. They put it on in conjunction with chess.com, but FIDE did all the organization, handled all the money, et cetera, et cetera. As far as anyone knows, chess.com did not pay any appearance fees, had nothing to do with the money. So it came out that Magnus Carlsen didn't want to play because he couldn't reach agreement with fighting. And he said so on the stream. He was a guest commentator during the Nations Cup on chess24.com, and he mentioned that I couldn't reach agreement with fighting, that's why I'm not playing. So chess.com, people were wondering why isn't Carlsen playing. Their business manager, I think director of business marketing came out for chess.com and said, Fighting handled all those negotiations, all the money. It's our understanding that he didn't want to be under the same financial conditions as the other players. In other words, he wanted to get paid more. And they couldn't reach an agreement, so they just declined. He didn't play. Carlsen took issue with that and said, "Oh, hey, thanks." But they said, "Look, we'll certainly invite you in the future." So Carlsen came out with a tweet that said, "Hey, chess.com, thank you for inviting me to events in the future. Can't wait, basically. But since you've outed me as being greedy, I'm going to demand 3 times what I demanded this time around for those future events. Thanks a lot." So he's upset. He's pissed, to be honest with you. Well, he shouldn't be. There's so many ways to digest this one. He shouldn't be totally mad at chess.com because Hikaru Nakamura on his Twitch account, which I was watching just yesterday or 2 days ago, and was responding to a lot of questions and inquiries about other players getting paid. He goes, "It's a myth if you think we're not getting paid. We are getting paid," he said. This is Nakamura. Magnus isn't playing because he wanted more money. He couldn't reach agreement with fighting. Okay, so what? It's not necessarily greed. There's so many ways. One way you can view Carlsen as being greedy. Oh man, everyone else is playing this way and you want more money. You prima donna, big ego, whatever, whatever. The other side would say, look, he's the world champion. Champions throughout history have wanted appearance fees, a little bit more money because just by the virtue of the more champion, or they're the champion. And they also want to kind of set the tone. Everybody always complains about the money in chess. They kind of fight. It's kind of part of their mantra. If you go back to Kasparov, Fischer, and now Carlsen, they kind of fight for more money for chess. And one way to do that is demand more as a world champion. So it's not necessarily bad. I view it as, hey man, they just tried a contract negotiation. It didn't work. I mean, yes, he wanted more. I don't personally necessarily view that as greedy. They just got done with a Magnus Invitational where the top prize was 70 grand, number 2 was 30, and then it went to, or sorry, it was 70,000, 45,000, couple at 30,000, the rest at 15. He may have said, hey man, this is a 180,000 prize pool. I want more. And fighting might have said, look, man, in the Magnus Invitational, you had 8 players and to divide up 250 grand. We got 36 players dividing up 180. We can't come up with more money. So that just seems more like normal course of business. You go to any profession, any sport, you're going to have those kind of conversations. Is it greed? I don't know. That's a hard one to say. I guess you could make an argument it is, but there's certainly an argument that it isn't. So it's within Carlsen's purview, if you will, to say I'm the world champion. I think I should get a little more for whatever reason, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, to me, it's a non-issue. Maybe next time they can work it out. So anyways, that's it for Sports Blab. You take care, take safe, wear that mask, wash those hands, social distance. Let's keep everybody going. Later.